CyBorg is the cyberpunk role-playing game with the most amount of punk you can press between two pieces of cardboard. It's like cyberpunk edge runners, only for sweaty nerds, and 20% more punk. The game is based on the Mörk Borg system, making it rules light and heavy in attitude. What impresses me most is the art and overall visual design of the book. It perfectly sets the mood for the capitalist hellscape of the city of Cy the game is set in. It's scrappy, it's stylish, and so garish that if you view the PDF through your neural jack, your head will explode in a shower of gore. With 168 pages, the core book is compact, but gives you all the tools you need to run a group of punks through their short, violent lives, while they try to burn down the city or get burned themselves first. If that is interesting to you, like and subscribe, and let's get into the review. Let's start by having a look at the physical book under blacklight here, because much of the Mörk Borg products looked amazing under blacklight, and there's some pages on here that really pop under the blacklight. Mainly the yellows become really striking, but it's not so much. The book is beautiful, hardcover, stitch bound, 2 bookmark ribbons, really well done. The adventure in the back of the book, interestingly enough, is only in black and white and on a different kind of paper, so that should be easy to print out if you only have the PDF. Look at this cover, there's this reflecting foil over it. Nice book, really interesting. The collector's edition looks a bit plain on pictures, but it's really stunning if you see it in person. The asset pack comes with a map of the city that also has all of your enemies on the back side in A3 poster format. And we've got this little A4 poster that is also a complete adventure. It also comes with the known rip-off character sheets, but also this location pad. They've got a number of different floor plans with random tables and space to add your own notes that will help you in preparing adventure. I've never seen anything like this. I think it's a really great idea. And there is a lot of locations in here for you to use. Really nice. But let's get into the book itself, and I'm showing the PDF here because I think that way you get a clearer picture, quite literally. Let me know what you would rather see during this part of the review, the PDF or the physical book. I usually only show the highlights from any book that I present, and I don't want to go through every single page, but CyBorg is such a visual feast. The presentation and layout are so great that I want to show all of it. If you're just interested, in my opinion, I will leave a timestamp for this, I will leave chapters for these videos. Just skip right to the end and I'll give you my opinion right there. To start with, let me tell you that I love cyberpunk. Many of my favorite movies and series, and especially anime, are in the cyberpunk genre. I love classics like Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, Bubblegum Crisis was great, Matrix, Blade Runner, you name it, I love it. I'm actually writing a cyberpunk novel right now. That's how much I like the genre. And CyBorg is the most punk cyberpunk game I've ever come across. Let's start at the back cover. It's a nano-infested doomsday RPG about cybernetic misfits and punks raging against a relentless corporate hell. As I said, this is based on Mörk Borg, and with that comes the streamlined system. We've got one more ability score than in Mörk Borg. We've got agility, knowledge, present, strength, and toughness. They come from -3 to +3. It's a D20 rollover system with 12 being the normal difficulty. It's completely player facing, so players will roll strength or presence to hit in combat, and to defend they will roll agility. Armor is damage reduction dice. This is all the same as in Mörk Borg. What we have new here is auto fire. If you've got a weapon that's capable of fully automatic fire, like a smart gun, you can test agility DR12 to hit instead of presence, interestingly. If you hit, it allows another attack to a maximum of 3 attack per attack action. So really powerful feature to have on a weapon. And after a fight you can count bullets. So don't actually count every bullets, but after a fight you see if you have to re-roll. Roll a d8, d6 of auto fire for each weapon you fired. On a 1 to 3 the magazine is empty and you have to reload. You can also take a breather, restore d4 HPs. That's additional to the normal rest. Short break heals d4 HP, eat, drink, sleep heals d6 HP, and if you are starving then there's no healing and instead you lose d4 HP. Instead of Omen we've got the so-called glitches, but it's actually the very same thing. You can spend a glitch to deal maximum damage, reroll a dice, lower damage, neutralize a crit or fumble, and lower a test by 4. Glitches are replenished each morning. Instead of magic, we've got 2 types of special powers. We've got nano powers. These stem from an infestation of nano machines. Test presence DR12 for the power to take effect. Failure means power doesn't work and user takes D2 damage. Also, each nano use increases the risk of a fumble by 1 for a day. Because every nano power you have comes with a random infestation. It's a real drawback to this power, to this nano infestation and mutation. And these are triggered upon fumbling. So the more you use the power, the more likely it is you will fumble. You can also receive infestations during the game that are not linked to a useful nano power, and these trigger upon receiving 5 or more damage from a single attack and failing a DR10 presence test. Furthermore, you've got apps and hacking. Apps are programs, think hard-coded programs that run on your CyberDeck, and to use these test knowledge DR12 while jacked into a deck and while you are +2 DR to all non-app actions, and on a fumble burns the app for the day and triggers a backlash, so something bad that happens to you when once again each app use raises the risk of fumble by 1 until the next day. If you want to do hacking that is non-app based, it is a time-consuming downtime activity requiring a CyberDeck test knowledge to break into a data node. Failure means you are discovered. Fumbling triggers a backlash. And this is the base of the system. Very minimalistic, fast, easy to use. There are a few optional rules in the combat chapter that I will totally use. That is rules for cover. Interestingly, when an attack misses a covered target, heavy cover becomes light cover and light cover is destroyed, so the attacks chip away at the cover. You can spend around aiming, some optional rules for range, the hits always hurt rule, and most importantly, suppressive fire. Spend a magazine using an automatic weapon to suppress up to D3 targets. Suppressed PCs can either get out of the way, running, hunkering down, etc., adding +4 DR to their next action, or stand their ground and defend against DR14 auto-fire attack, and suppressed NPCs can test morale. Either they stand their ground and become the target for a DR10 auto-fire attack, or they get out of the way, -4 DR to defend against their attack next round. So suppressive fire is a really powerful debuff, or you do damage to up to D3 targets. In my mind, for any modern game, you need at least rules for cover and suppressive fire, so you can use any tactics involving automatic firearms. Inside cover, got some random tables to make NPC or find something in a body. Random weather, very moody, so you get heavy black rain, annoying drizzle, howling winds, blinding fog, and dead channel sky. There's no pleasant weather in the city of Cy. D10 infested items you can find during your adventures. These will have strange effects, like your fingers stretch and grow tendon-like tentacles that wrap around your throat. Choked for D4 damage per round until you or someone helping you passes a DR14 strength test. You can now manifest these tentacles at will. Some really interesting items in here. On the credit page, interestingly enough, you've got a list of music to listen to appropriate to the game, and a lot of bands in here like Perturbator or Laserhawk are in my own cyberpunk playlists. I made some cyberpunk themed RPG playlists sorted by mood, like action, mystery, city, general, and I use them when GMing these RPGs, or also I listen to them when I'm writing on my cyberpunk novel. I'll just leave a Spotify link in the video description below if you're interested. The world is Endem. Welcome to the year 20x3. So 2023, huh? The city of Glitch, the city of Cy. There are a lot of these double page spreads. We should have burned this city centuries ago. So the book starts with this introduction to the setting, presenting the different districts of the city, but also the mega corporations that run the city. Some of them are cults, though. And there's not a whole lot of information to each of these. It's more like you get an impression of what it is like, a feeling, and then you can work from that. For example, you know that the city is flooded in many districts, and instead of streets you have channels filled with toxic sludge. Whole districts that are just industrial toxic wastelands where you shouldn't go without a gas mask. And in contrast to that, you've got the hills, where it is dry, where it is safe, and the rich live in walled, fenced, guarded, autocannon defended enclaves. Interestingly enough, one of these is called Galgenbecken, little nod here towards Galgenbeck from Mörk Borg. One page describing what lies beyond the city of Cy, and basically nothing interested. Maybe the tomb town, the wreckage of cities ruined and abandoned during the last mega urbanization wave. Here Roadrunner clans shelter from pollution, radiation, twisted wildlife, extreme weather, and other more explainable phenomena. The net, CyBorg's version of the internet, is an ever-present AR/VI internet in cyberspace, and everyone is jacked in some way or another, be it eye implants, augmented reality glasses, or bulky headsets. And you're just constantly bombarded by ads in your perception of reality is shifted by the cyberspace. Miserable Headlines is CyBorg's version of the calendar of Necrobell. The calamities that will befall the gaming world before the end of the day. But this is much more visually than in Mörk Borg. Instead of one double page, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 double pages for this. So we've got a few illustrations to set the mood. The 7th time a miserable headline is rolled, it will always be the last one. Spoiler alert. Are we living in a simulation? Rector Magnificus Professor Dr. Duro Everin at University has found proof that the world is a simulation run by unknown entities. Everin could not be reached for further comment. In 12 hours, the simulation resets. Replay the entire campaign. At least you don't have to burn the book. Interestingly enough, Misery 6.6 as the fideistic transformation mega temple goes silent and its known members alongside thousands of others have vanished, the public must wonder, have their goals of whole brain emulation finally been achieved? Or have they just realized that they are in a simulation and they have logged out or maybe deleted themselves? Who knows? Up for you to decide. The system. Rule 0 of the system. You are encouraged to break every single rule in this book except this one. Player characters cannot be loyal or have sympathy for the corpse, the cops, or the capitalist system. They might find themselves reluctantly forced to do missions for them or their minions, but make no mistake, they are the enemy. This is the fundamental rule of punk. You are not part of the system, you are against the established system and want to throw it over if you can. It's like the fundamental aspect of the unbridled human soul raging against an uncaring, inhuman system. And this attitude oozes out of every page of CyBorg. Most punk RPG I've ever seen. But honestly, if you want to, I would encourage you to break even this rule. That would be a very punk thing to do. Play a group of Medivac employees, or maybe a cop duo, a detective duo solving crime mysteries in the city of Cy in a detective noir style. Do whatever you want. Just like in Mörk Borg, you can make a classless character, the punk, roll abilities, randomize your stuff, roll your depth, roll your glitches, roll your hit points, and get shit done. And on these cash and gear things, funnily enough, if you roll a 3, you start with the hangover, which I know some players will be annoyed by, that they get a hangover instead of something useful, like maybe D4 hand grenades on old school motorcycle, but I find this very funny. But we also have D6 optional classes, started with the Shunned Nanomancer. So every character can be infected by nanomachines, but this one is infected by default, starting with one random nano power, with that random infestation, but also one of these. Scales cover most of your body. Any roll to resist cold, heat, or radiation is -4 DR. Elongated, pointed, and semi-translucent skull. Your brain shines underneath, emitting light like that of a candle. Interestingly enough, this game is way too punk to give you a normal hacker. This is a burned hacker. You wear the sharpest decker in Cy, but you messed up, and now you are burned. You start with an app that only you will have, and also with a cyber deck. And anytime you roll during character creation a nano or cyber tech, instead you get more random apps. So this character gets a lot of apps to do his hacking. Discharged Corp Killer, so a general tough fighter class. The Orphaned Gearhead, basically a drone jockey. The Renegade Cyber Slasher. So when other games you would have something like Street Samurai, this is the character with probably the most cyberware, and he's a total psychopath. The Street Samurai 2 is a total psychopath, but CyBorg is not coy about it. And one of your special equipments that you can get is a goddamn flail, spiked, absolutely medieval. Wonderful. Forsaken Gangoon is basically your rogue, your thief class, the punk among punks. Then we've got some optional tables you can use to generate NPCs or to give your PCs more personalities. Like what is their style, what are their wearing, special feature, what do they want, what are their strange quirks, what is their current obsession. Weapons table reaching from a broken bottle to a sniper rifle. Armor with interesting discount price tags here, just like in Mörk Borg, but the heavier armor also come with HST auto injector. Automatically injects you with adrenochrome HST. Let's look in the drugs. Adrenochrome HST. Heal D6 HP. +1 on all abilities for D6 rounds. Then -1 until rest. So the heavier armor, the smartware and the combat armor come with health potion and combat stim auto injectors. We also get an additional tier of armor that is not in Mörk Borg, tier 4, -D8, equipped with multiple customizable injectors, jump jets, motorized joints and more. Not for sale. This is a goddamn Iron Man suit. Every character also starts with a hefty debt to a random crime syndicate, a fixer or something. And funny enough, how badly do they want their cash back? D6 random table, 1 to 6, very. So this is a main motivation for your group, for your characters to do shit, because they have to pay back this crushing debt. They can't afford to reject the jobs and the adventures you throw their way. They have to accept every one of them, which is very setting appropriate and also makes your job as a GM easier. Equipment tables, not all encompassing, not super large, but everything you need, I think, including services, food, transportation, and on the next page also more weapons and ammo. There are a few more weapons on here than on the weapon tables itself. We've got the nail gun, pulse rifle, laser turret, rocket launchers, hand grenades, flashbangs, and so on. And we've got some single-use booster mod. This is like special ammunition you can put in your gun. Inferno bullets, frag bullets. So very powerful but comparatively very expensive ammunition, giving you more combat options. We've got a full D12 table of drugs with recreational doses, but also the full on, you have this strange effect doses ranging from healing combat stims to something that will send you in a frenzy or is actually a poison. Chrome you can chop into your body until you're more machine than man. These are the D12 apps you can use for hacking. These are more like hard-coded cartridges than software, really special kind of equipment. And if you fumble your hacking checks, You get backlashes ranging from black eyes left behind by an unidentified entity hits you for 2d10 damage and burns your cyber deck to 20. You stumble upon an extrinsic presence, perhaps an IA or something worse. Roll d6. Anything can happen. D12 strange nano powers, like to dust. Half a cubic meter of inorganic matter turns to dust. So strange supernatural powers, but they all come with one of the D20 random infestations, like radiance. A faint eerie glow surrounds you. Geiger counters malfunction in your presence. On fumble you trigger, you flash brightly and deal d6 damage to yourself and up to d6 others in your close proximity. Basically you become radioactive man. Glitch, as I said before, just omen, and knowing that the world is a simulation, these are glitches in the Matrix. We've got the same hit point, negative hit point damage system as in Mörk Borg, but we've got emergency body modification. If you get a critical hit and some part of your body is damaged beyond repair, you can get replacement everything at a cost. Also, if you fall into negative HP, if you have a personal bank account with at least 1k credits, there's a 50% chance for an emergency response team to reach you in time to save your life. If you are at 0 or -1 HP, add an additional 0 to the bill for each negative HP thereafter. So you don't automatically die in negative HP depending on the size of your bank account. Here also the rules for the Psy Rage, the psychosis of CyBorg. You go berserk, temporarily gain plus DH hit points, and attack random targets twice per round with their most effective weapons. Attacks are at DR 10. Defense is at DR 14. This doesn't stop until battered, dead, or otherwise incapacitated. Some apps, I think drugs, and some characters can do it on will to go into this Berserker Psy Rage. Combat rules, very gory. Did show that before. Some additional rules. Resting, first impression, the reaction roll if you meet an NPC. Morale tests, same as in Mörk Borg. Getting better or worse, same as in Mörk Borg. And then we've got a number of enemies. Generic cop, roadrunner, Psy Rage, cyber, psycho, menace, corpse, assassins, the heretics of Kergus, another nod to Mörk Borg here, nanomancers, fanatical nanomancers, heralds of the two-headed demons. Nice nod to Mörk Borg here. Drones in several shapes and sizes. Cybernetic beasts, dogs, vampire bats, and crocodiles. You can have as like security beasts, or maybe they're running amok somewhere. Droids, either these have been cyborgs at some points or androids. Now they're killers, creepy stuff. And here the whitetail, that is a downright VR, AR simulation ghost. We've got some exploding shambles from inside of the G0 zone. The G0 zone is where something happened, either a meteorite struck or a research plant blew up or something. Now it's super nano infested, and it's the source of much of the nano infestation and nightmares in Psy. Then we've got the really big guns, combat vehicles, armored car, Milcorp gunships, and the mech, which got a full double page just for itself. And finally the ghost, the Matrix AI that is maybe out to kill you. And the last chapter is just the tables from the chapters before. So this is the PC or NPC generation a mission generator. Very welcome. I love random tables and generators like this a lot. And I think this will also be an online tool incorporating these tables. These are pretty thorough to generate jobs and adventures. Together with the tear out floor plans, this gives you all the tools you need to make adventures. Then if you need more antagonists, we have a corporation generator and a cult generator. I love that there's a cult generator. It's a major theme of cyberpunk that people will turn to sects and religion in times of desperation, like in Akira, for example. D100 random city events. These are actually only 50 events because everything is on 2 numbers, but I think not many people have D50, so it's a D100 table. D20 events that can happen while you're running the net. And finally, the introductory adventure. It's a heist. It's the Lucky Flight takedown. The Lucky Flight is a crumbling apartment complex crowned with a hotel built from 3 repurposed low-orbit shuttles. The casino floor makes up part of the lower levels. It's a hotel, it's a casino. The upper floors are repurposed orbital shuttles. What's not to like? And you've got everything you need to run this adventure. So you get the why, you get the floor plans, you get the security, all of the areas, NPCs. And what I like is that the descriptions of the different rooms, the different floors, they do a small copy of the larger map. So you always know where you are. And you also find the relevant NPCs and the stats right here. This is very well thought out, making it very easy to run this. This is a really great, well thought out, well laid out introductory adventure. And it's in black and white, so you can easily print it out. Short description of the major corporations, I think again. The index, which is also hyperlinked. So you can quickly navigate through the PDF. The rules summary and the back cover. All in all, I love this game. The rules are easy to grasp, yet comprehensive enough for what I need. The setting is super flavorful. It's inspiring. It doesn't give you huge amount of text, but it's setting the mood perfectly. And you can build from that. Great introductory adventure, but more than that, great random tools, great mission generator to build on this, to create adventures and flesh out this world however you like. It gives you all the tools you need. The only thing this is missing from a rules perspective are vehicle combat, which is not in here. And I'm thinking about writing a supplement for that myself. I'm aware that there's already a supplement out there, and I have that actually, but I don't like it, so I'm thinking about doing my own. And also the hacking rules, the virtual reality rules are very brief, and you might want to elaborate on that if your group is mainly composed of hackers and you're a fan of hacking and virtual reality. Other than that, very nice game. Very hackable. Very punk. And I think it's worth getting just for the random tables and the presentation, the inspiration alone. So I can wholeheartedly recommend that you check this out. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time.